let's call the meeting. Oh, I thought it sounded like the door. Let's call the meeting to order for the January 15th regular meeting of the Tuxedo School District Board of Education. Should we rise for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk call roll?
Daniel Castro.
Here.
Gary Hebner.
Here.
Kimberly Breland. Present. Liam Clark.
Here.
Heather Kidden. Chris Scanlon.
Here.
Bonnie Takeuchi.
Here.
Great, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you. At this point, I want to open the meeting up to public comment. If anyone in the audience would like to address the board on any topic. Okay, the president of the PTO, Ms. Susan Mitchell, is making her way down to the microphone. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Do I have to talk really loud?
I'm not sure.
Much louder?
Give it a quick second.
And Heather's here.
Try it now, he said.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. Hi, Heather. So, tell me when I should start.
You have the floor.
Okay. I am Susan Mitchell. I live on One Schoolhouse Lane, and I'm talking as today as the co-vice president of the PTO. So I'd like to say that the PTO strives to support the school, and we feel that our collaboration with the Board of Ed is essential for that, for us to meet our mutual goals. This year, the Board of Ed's been very open to hearing our feedback, and we really appreciate that. So we'd like to talk a little bit today about the upcoming creation of the new budget for next year. We're aware the budget committee has formed and decisions are being made that are going to directly affect our students for next year. And the PTO has created a survey for parents to try to get information about what they're satisfied with, what they'd like to see improvements with, and we're going to share that information with you next week. So far, 28 parents have responded, and some of the information I think can be useful to you when planning programming and activities for next year. Hold on a sec. I'm reading my notes from my phone, which is totally messed up. Okay. So just from looking at the initial results of the survey and from communication with parents and teachers, what we're finding the strongest need for is extracurricular activities at both GGM and GFB, as well as additional curriculum offerings, such as Spanish for GGM, additional choices for foreign languages at GFB, adjustments to the GFB schedule so that students can take electives that they are interested in taking and they won't conflict with other classes in their schedule. A more robust GFB honors program and annual field trips for every grade. The PTO has done what we can do to assist, or we're doing what we can do to assist with the extracurricular activities by offering classes like Skyhawks and the Lego class. But these classes are expensive to families. And, we would like to see the school, the administration come together and come up with, maybe a school administration doing some, not school administration, but school staff running classes after school. There are plenty of other schools around us that are good models of what can happen, where students can attend like 2 days after school free, where a staff member from the school is paid a stipend, and they run, just like we run an art class here, we run the music, the play, but maybe we can do some other things for our students that would be free. So here's the hard part. thing that we don't talk about is that students are leaving our district at an alarming rate. This is a reality. We hear it. We're hearing it right now. The number of parents, like I already know how many parents are going to be pulling their kids from 5th grade, and they're not going to be going to the 6th grade. So we've spoken to the parents of the district. We hear that they're dissatisfied, and we just want you to be aware, because I know you are aware, but now's the best time to implement changes that are going to make programming better and will help parents want to keep their kids in the school district. So I would encourage you to meet with parents on your own, call a town hall, do something to kind of get more information, and also, I hope that you'll use our information that we're going to share with you next week from the survey that we're doing. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell. Someone just handed me a copy of some of the questions that you're asking in the survey. And one that I would be interested in seeing you add is, in addition to having the student population being small, we're trying to run as efficiently as possible. Are there any parents that would be willing to volunteer to do some of the after-school activities if we can't find staff members? There's a process that you need to go through right before we let anyone be alone with the kids. Obviously, they've got to be fingerprinted, and we do background checks, that kind of stuff. We can make sure that they're in places where there are video cameras, so no one feels like they're going to get thrown under the bus or in trouble for anything that goes on with the kids. But if they're, we've reached out at various points, and it's not always easy to find staff that's willing to or able to, has the capacity to come in and stay after school and do a lot of this stuff, especially when you know it's going to be every single week on a particular day. So just add a question in there. Would you be willing to volunteer to lead one of these particular clubs that we're interested in? I'd love to see what kind of feedback you get on that too. But this is great, so thank you.
Yeah, invaluable,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Susan? Does it have to be on a volunteer basis? I mean, could they also be paid a club pay if, like, we hire coaches who don't work in the district? Can somebody who wants to run a club be a person from the community, given that they pass the background check and all of that? Is it necessarily a volunteer position?
I don't know.
I don't think it's necessarily a volunteer position. I think that's one for additional discussion, though, with the board, because it's really coming from the teacher's contract, the amount for the clubs. So I think it would be one for further discussion, but it's certainly, we can entertain that and talk about it.
Thank you.
Heather, did you say?
Yeah, I know that these two programs have been very successful, and people are really excited about those, the Skyhawks and the Lego class. Could the PTO put together a proposal in terms of what we could include in the budget potentially to either fund or partially fund those programs so that they could be part of the 25-26 budget? Okay. I'm not saying that they will be, I'm just, that would be helpful for us as we are putting that budget together, because we want to make sure that we continue with things that are working. Thanks.
You got that, Nancy? Yeah.
Just a quick note on the field trips, too. I know that field trips have been sort of an ongoing, point of concern, but there's definitely money in the budget for the field trips. I think it's a matter of how to unlock a lot of that, Yeah. Forced them to take two.
we as a board have been asking for this very thing to be addressed and a strategic plan for those funds to be put in place, because it's great to have the fun programs, but also things that are within, that fit within the curriculum. So we'll continue to discuss that.
So would it be appropriate to ask to have a schedule of all the class trips for our February meeting?
Well, I provided you with what we had to date, but I will certainly get it from the administration of what is coming up and get that out to you.
Good.
Well, could I ask a question, Jared, regarding the, back in July, I asked about extra administrative quarterly events. Has there been any progress with that? It's been almost 6 months.
There has. So, looking at staff shortage, what we're doing with that, running an event, what we're going to do, what people be there, conflict with other things that are already happening. So in the fall quarter, Jen actually hosted a gym night.
What grades was that?
That was,
What grades?
That was for our middle schoolers, grade 6 or 8.
Okay. And K through 5, 9 through 12, have we had anything for them?
so there are specific events that are hosted through different groups within the school. That was the event that we were able to supervise and run in the fall quarter for the upcoming quarter, 28th, I think.
Which I'm going to talk about.
STEM night.
And who's hosting that? Okay. And what about K, and what grades are that, is that for?
Same thing.
Okay, so what events do we have for K through 5?
So in the elementary school, we'll be hosting that during the day. We're going to be doing about an hour and a half. Ms. Glenwood has set up a STEM afternoon, in which it's in two grades per, will be grouped together, and they will be participating in that during the day.
Okay, and what do we have planned after the STEM event? What's the next event after that?
So we'll have to work with the groups that we have in things for supervision. We'll usually have a game night in the third quarter semester. And then we've had talks about family food related event. And last year that was, it initially started off as a fashion show, but became the art show. So we'll have something within that realm, like the big spring people things.
Okay, so when do you think you could provide an update at the next, at which meeting?
Well, it depends on, so what happens is we have 4 clubs that are highly active during the months. We're planning our currently our Valentine's dance for the 14th, 7th, 28th. 14th will be the Valentine's dance. Just happens to fall on Friday, Valentine's Day. And then we should know relatively soon what our next spring dance is.
Okay, so at the February or March meeting then?
Well, it depends on the staff and certainly.
Okay, if you could provide an update at the next meeting or the meeting in March, it would be appreciated. Thank you.
I'm not sure if this is going to be helpful or not. I'm not sure how long it takes to get parents and perhaps elected officials and others approved to volunteer at things on a more long-term basis. But for all these events, if you wanted to ask people to help, like STEM night, you need a couple more hands, that might can help out. Do those people have to be pre-approved, or does that make it harder for you? Do you want extra volunteers? Would it make things easier for you to run more events with more volunteers, whether they be parents, us, or somebody else?
Yeah, I think they're dilemma. They're good at this process.
We want to have them fingerprinted and they're interacting.
But is that something that's difficult, or people are willing to volunteer to get them kind of pre-approved so when they're needed?
It hasn't occurred really that many have had to go. I can't really answer how difficult it will be. If we have the information, we could give them about the fingerprinting.
So So I guess to what I'm saying is, would a pool of pre-approved, background checked volunteers on the standby when needed help facilitate all these things?
I
Or is that just
volunteered,
make a bigger problem?
1 year when Nancy was here, to run an acting class after school.
You did.
And it was very simple. It was
It didn't
not.
take long, it's just filling out the
Right,
forms, what the
right. And
club's
then
gonna
I
be.
went, got fingerprinted, and everything was approved.
Could we move on to the administrators' reports? 3.1, Superintendent?
Sure. Okay. So as Mr. Kamar was just indicating, there'll be a Family STEM Challenge Night in celebration of National Lego Day at George F. Baker on January 28th from 5 to 6:30. That will be open to grades 6 to 12. I just wanted to highlight, you may have seen it in the photo news, Mrs. McGowan's Ethics Club will be competing at the Westchester County High School Ethics Bowl. That'll be held on February 1st at Manhattanville College, so we wish them luck. And just to note, Regents exams and midterms will occur next week from January 21st to January 24th. Students have received their schedules. And just to note, in case anybody hasn't seen the schedule or is aware, school will be closed this coming Monday for Martin Luther King Day, and on Wednesday, January 29th for Lunar New Year. And as Mr. Kamar also indicated, there will be a winter dance on Valentine's Day, February 14th, for grades 9 to 12. The exact details for that winter dance will follow in the near future. And I'm very pleased that I received information from Mr. Chan that Tuxedo will be hosting the 2025 Orange County Music Educators Association Jazz All-County Festival here. And what this is, it consists of the top student jazz performers from various schools in Orange County. Students from around the county audition to get into these ensembles, and only the top performers are selected. So the festival will be taking place on Friday, February 28th, and Saturday, March 1st, and there will also be a concert, which is open to the public, at 2 p.m. on Saturday the 1st, here. So it's a small group performing, and the organizers of this association talked to Mr. Chan. He was a little leery because it's such a small venue, and they said, no, the size of the venue with its character is perfect for this kind of performance, for the Jazz Festival. So they're very excited to come. Mr. Chan is excited. So that'll be a great Friday and Saturday. And, you know, we open our doors to the jazz community, and we're so excited about it. Just to note, we've started compiling a list of college acceptances thus far, and just to highlight some of them, Pennsylvania State University, Siena College, SUNY Binghamton, SUNY Maritime, University of Delaware, University of New Haven, University of Rhode Island, and some other SUNY schools. So I'll keep updating the board as we get them. There's St. Thomas Aquinas College, Ramapo College, Buffalo State, Alfred State, Dominican University, and Fairfield. So nice selection. Thank you.
Thanks. I think we had 3.2 on some of the agendas, but not on the one that was handed to me.
2.2.
Oh, 2.2? Did I miss it? Did I skip it? Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Public input.
All right, so public input on
If there
the,
was any.
the 2025-2026 budget. If there was anyone who wanted to speak specifically about that, we'd open up the floor for that. Is there anyone that came specifically to talk about what they want to see included in the budget? Besides what Mrs. Mitchell said. All right, just to give you an idea kind of on where we are so far with the current year's budget rolling into to next year's budget and some of the expenses that have hit us this year. The FMLA leave and having an acting superintendent so far has cost the district $76,432. We are way ahead from last year's budget in that the personnel changes and the consultants that we're not using net us out to a savings of $254,000 under budget going into December 31st. Then coming through in January, we had our change of psychologists, the realignment of the principal, changes in our English teachers, netting us another, $40,000 to the good. So we're running $297,000 under what was budgeted last year. That's without affecting any of the programs for the kids. And as I've stated before, there was $500,000 that was taken out of fund balance in order to create last year's budget. And we don't have that $500,000 to put back in. So I'm hopeful by the end of the year, we'll have trimmed that $500,000 from the budget going into next year, so we can start from flat. But that's where we are with that. All right. Let's move on to point 1, approval of the administrator mentor contract for the 2024-2025 school year. As you know, we are thrilled to have Ms. Park as our new GGM principal, and we were excited and very happy to have Dr. Cogliano here for as long as we had him, but he is moving on, and we want to be able to call on him for help and for Ms. Park to call on for help during the next year if that's needed. So we have 4.1 for a mentor contract. That's a maximum dollar amount that it would be. I'm really doubtful that it would be anywhere near that. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 4.2, approval of a supplemental memorandum of agreement for the Lunar New Year. The Lunar New Year, the school is closed,
Yes, it falls on Wednesday, the 29th of January?
and that's a newly created state holiday,
Correct.
but only half or two-thirds of the employees are off on that based on the contract. And what we would like to do is to allow all of the employees to take that day off, and then see if we can work that into the contract when it comes up for renewal, and, bargain for that and see if, if
And
there's a
Lunar New Year
trade for that.
changes.
Yeah.
We already looked at next year, and it falls within the President's Week if the school is closed during President's Week.
So,
Is this the first year?
yeah.
It is? Okay.
So can I have a motion to move 4.2?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Nancy, so if it falls on a weekend or holiday,
Nothing,
so
then,
it's,
yeah. Not, this is only for this year, and then it would have to be negotiated for.
okay. That's what I was wondering.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. 5.1, anything in particular on the business reports anyone would like to discuss? Can I have a motion to move 5.1?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. 5.2, approval to amend the Board of Education calendar for the 2024-2025 school year.
So moved.
What exactly are we doing, Nancy?
Because I had a
We
couple
just-
dates here that don't make
yeah.
sense to me. I had a couple dates in the February date, the May date.
February 12th, do you have?
I had February 12th.
That's correct.
No, I had the 19th, I'm sorry, I had the 19th on my previous calendar.
Oh, okay, I think that was corrected once, but I had the wrong schedule too, hanging up.
But
This-
more
this
importantly, the budget vote, isn't that always a Tuesday?
May for May 21st?
Yeah. I think that's Wednesday.
So this is,
That's why I'm like, I thought I had a couple dates wrong, but then that month, that
I
threw.
apologize, I have to look at the calendar.
The 20th is.
You're right, May 20th is a
It's
Tuesday.
should be a Tuesday. So now I'm wondering about the February and the May date.
So can we
Hold off on that?
table this one, and I apologize for that. I will have Christine correct the 20th
Okay,
for the vote.
so just so we're clear, what day will our Tuesday meeting be? The 12th or the 19th or whatever?
The 12th of February.
12th, we're all in agreement on the 12th?
That's fine, I had on my calendar.
Okay.
19th.
March 19th, April 24th.
So I'd like a motion to amend 5.2 to reiterate the February Board of Education meeting will be on February the 12th, and to table the rest of the. Can I have a motion to move that?
So
We will-
we're not having a meeting on,
We have to move the original
wait,
one.
when are we having a meeting?
The 12th.
Oh, it says that.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's,
February
so
12th.
so that's
What-
correct, and then the rest is tabled.
Gary caught an error down in
Right,
May on the
okay.
budget reduction
There's
vote.
a couple other ones that are suspect then. So I move 5.2 as amended to, at this point, confirm next month we meet on the 12th and not the 19th or any other date.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is the 12th a holiday? We're not
That's
talking
fine.
about President's Day. or
President's
something.
Day is the 17th.
Every time it's a county holiday for me.
Okay,
I'm not sure what it is.
all right,
It's good with everybody else.
yeah,
It's good.
okay. 5.3, approval of the CSE, CPSE recommendations. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 February 12th is Lincoln's birthday. I don't know, it doesn't affect me. I don't know if that counts. Would that change?
We don't have off February 12th.
I don't think they,
I don't think they celebrate Lincoln's
I think
birthday.
we do it all on one
it's,
President's
Yeah,
it's
it's
Day.
President's Day. They don't
Yeah.
do Lincoln and
But I do
and
think
Washington's
everyone's
separate anymore.
Used to.
But we went to it.
Okay. On 5.4,
My contract dates were that day off.
I asked that we put this on. Last year, instead of, we've had a running process for doing the master scheduling with the school counselor, and last year we pulled it out from her purview, and we sent it to BOCES, and we spent $23,000 on it. There were issues with, our superintendent not being available, and, newer staff, and I thought it made sense to put that back into the bailiwick of the counselor who'd been doing it for many years. And I think that will work better. So there's an approval of the resolution which has the counselor along with the two principals to begin the 25-26 schedule, which they usually start in February, and that they would be the ones who would do it. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Yes, discussion. It's my understanding that while the scheduling was under the purview of the counselor, that's when we had lots of study halls, and that was fixed, and then it went back to not being fixed. I'd like to propose that Mr. Kmart will be the lead on that scheduling, like he was going to be last year.
I think, let me read the resolution exactly.
I also
Thought it was
have a
included,
question.
yeah.
Do we have a guidance counselor in the lower school?
No, we have one guidance counselor.
And
For
so
district.
our one guidance counselor does the lower school and the upper school?
Yes. In conjunction, like for counseling students, the school psychologist also.
Okay, because I would not want a grievance or something to come to us saying that they are working too much or too much is on their plate, because I believe something like that happened in the past,
Okay.
and the union had to get involved.
The resolution reads, "Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby directs the district's master schedule for the 25-26 year to be developed by a master schedule development team comprised of the district school counselor, assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction, and the secondary school principal, and the elementary school principal." I'm satisfied with the way that the resolution reads. If you've made a motion to amend the resolution, if there's a second to Heather's motion to amend the resolution.
It would be to change the order.
So, to be developed by a master schedule development team comprised of the assistant superintendent of curriculum and instruction, secondary principal, and the elementary school principal, and the district school counselor.
Yes.
I don't think that makes any difference, but
Yeah, the order shouldn't matter. Are you asking that of those three people, one be?
Well, the order would matter because that would indicate who is in charge of it.
No, we're saying it's three positions.
Well, I mean, if you're saying that the order doesn't matter, then why don't you just change the orders?
yeah, we're
We can
happy
do
to,
that.
if that's what,
Yes, absolutely.
If you want to hand it to me,
okay.
change the wording around.
Can I have a motion to reverse the order of the people in this resolution? And I'll reread the amended.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, actually. So I was under the impression that we paid $23,000 for help and training on building a new schedule and a new schedule system. And that the assistant superintendent principal was trained on doing this. So is that not correct? I mean,
I don't
we
have
wouldn't
information to
go
that.
back to using that, we wouldn't have to go back to using the place that charged us $23,000, because we spent the $23,000 and they trained, I believe, the superintendent and the principal assistant superintendent of the school, and I think somebody else.
Are you saying you want to spend that money again?
No.
No.
We're not spending that money, so what, I'm saying,
I don't have any information that there was training.
Then he should be, then that person should be doing the schedule along with the other people that were trained at that time.
Well, the current school counselor is trained in school management systems, so I don't know what additional training was given through the BOCES program, but the person who had done that prior did have that training.
Mr. Kmar, may I just ask, when BOCES came in, if you can clarify, I know they assisted in the training of the schedule, but weren't they setting up like the templates and the masterpieces for it as well at the time? Okay. And then tweaking it to match the needs of the students and things of that nature?
Prior to last year, who did the schedule for the last
The
10?
school
The
counselor.
school counselor's been doing the schedule for
And
many
have we ever had to pay an additional $23,000 to train that
While I
person?
was here, no.
The only extra pay that we've ever done for the schedule would be occasionally the school counselor would come in for a day or two over the summer and would put in for the time that she was here.
Okay.
That's traditionally budgeted for in the
Yeah.
summer to address concerns from students that may want to change classes or whatnot over the summer.
Well, I believe the whole reason why the scheduling came into effect was because we did hire a specialist under your lead of the board, that we spent $10,000. He reviewed our schedules, said we should not be having as many
Study halls.
study halls that we did. We were also one of the districts that had the least amount of time for our students in classrooms, which we just worked so hard to get through with the budget, to gain 2 minutes in each class, and also not to have all these study halls, so that the children are actually being educated. So that's why the $23,000 was spent to have that team there. And our school district counselor is not trained in that system right now. That was just revised.
And you're satisfied with the results that we achieved this year?
Have we seen the results yet? Because we have not taken the test yet in this spring.
You know, as the
And
board,
it's a process.
as the
Kids
board
overnight
president, I was the
don't
one that was
become
taking the
100
calls.
average.
You know, as the board president, I was the one that was taking all the calls for everyone whose schedule was not correct when the school year began. So I was not satisfied with the way that it went. I think it was put off way too long. And I wanted to start again in February, as it ordinarily does and ordinarily has, so that we won't run into the last-minute nonsense that we ran into this year. So there's a motion on the floor to change the order of the
I have
people
one
listed in
more.
this. Let's deal with that motion first, and then we can vote on whether or not we want to have this pass or not. Can I have a vote?
Did we already have
Did you want further discussion?
We have a motion and a second on it.
Second.
Dan, we have further discussion then.
I want to bounce,
I just want to vote on changing the order of the people,
Okay.
okay? All in favor of changing the order of the people, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Opposed.
You're opposed. Okay, good. So it's 6-1. Now,
Right.
back to the motion.
well, I think that the system changed greatly this year, and I think we need to find out what were the pros and cons of those changes, and are we satisfied with them? Do the pros outweigh the cons? I think that that's a legitimate question for the school board to ask. Our administrators should do some analysis, maybe do some surveys of students and parents, as well as faculty and staff, and let's talk about what those results yield before we go into locking into a schedule for next year.
But I think what we're doing here is starting the process.
No one's changing schedules.
And what we're doing here is we're including the person who needs to fix all of the problems when they go wrong from the beginning. And that's why I had it on here, so that the school counselor would be involved from the beginning with the schedule. Last year, the school counselor wasn't involved at all with the schedule, only with fixing the issues in the beginning of the school year. So I want them involved right up front. So,
I totally agree.
I'm going to ask for a vote on the motion then, to move the revised motion. Can I have a motion to move the revised?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
I think it would be a 5.5. That's just a resolution there.
We have a walk-on resolution. We're going to call it 5.5. Can I have a motion to adjust the agenda to add 5.5?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to read 5.5. Be it resolved, the Board of Education authorizes the terms of a supplemental memorandum of agreement between the Tuxedo Teachers Association and the district dated January 15th, 2025, as presented to the board this meeting. A copy of said agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of the meeting. For the, that's the extent of the motion. For the edification of the board, this is just to authorize a leave. Okay? Can I have a motion to move that?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, and the motion passes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is executive session. I don't feel the need. Is there anyone who has anything that needs to be discussed in executive session pertaining to, lawsuits or personnel or
Yes,
other issues? You want to go into executive session?
yes.
Is there a second to go into executive session?
I'll second that.
All those in favor of going into executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed, but so be it. I don't expect it will be long, but then again, I don't know what it's about, so. Can I have a motion to return from executive session? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for the record, the executive session material was appropriate personnel conversations. Okay? Otherwise, on the agenda, I believe there's no action to be taken from executive session. If anyone else on the board has anything else to add, now would be the time. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I would just like to, I saw Nancy left, or somebody left a copy of the photo news here for us all to look at, and I want to say that I've seen a marked increase in articles concerning activities at our school, and I think Meg McCluskey and whoever else might be responsible for that deserves a thank you from us, and I hope it continues. We have a lot of good things, and the thing that, the articles that Meg posts are so beautifully written, and I don't know if she sits down and has time to interview each teacher, but what she reflects about what's going on during the different classes or projects that the kids are working on, I find very informative and pleasant to read. So again, hats off to Meg, and I think that that's something we should strive to continue.
Awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
agreed.
Thank you, Meg.
And
Thank you. I'll pass
Yes,
it
thank you.
along.
one other thing for me on the same topic, I have heard that all of the games are now being posted on Facebook so that people are seeing when the games are and where the kids are and where it's increasing attendance and making it easier for folks to come and know what's going on. So I think that's great, too. All right, I'll try this again. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks.
Good night, everyone.
It's not even 8:30.
Good night.
Good.